What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 62 of Six Figure Live. The last couple episodes, the audio has not been working out right in the beginning. And so I'm going to give it maybe a little bit, and then I'm going to come back on and reintroduce myself. So here's the deal. We're in my basement right now. So do forgive the crummy lighting situation. I'm down here in my basement, unfinished basement. I'm sitting on top of a ping pong table because I'm down here working on the finishing touches of staging out my presentation for Canada Photo Convention, CPC. What's up, Chad de Blasio? Finishing up my CPC presentation down here. And so I'm down here in the basement, pacing, walking around, talking to walls, talking to Minnie Mouse, getting things done. Once again, my name is Ben Hartley with Six Figure Photography, Style and Story Creative, and this is episode 62 of the episode of the show. And it is Friday, which means it's Q&A Friday, you guys. What's up, 7 people? Give me a high, 8, 5, 6, 7 people. Give me a thumbs up. Say what's up. Who's shooting a wedding tomorrow? I want to know. I want to know if you're stoked about it, if you're terrified about it. Let me know how many you're in this year. Is this going to be kind of wrapping it up? Anyhow, so every single Friday we do Q&A Friday for you guys. And so the way it works is I want to answer questions. I want to answer whatever questions you guys have. These can be questions about business, about marketing, about attracting clients, about pricing, marketing strategy. This can be technical stuff, right? Lighting setups, gear, all that kind of jazz. Work-life balance, personal growth, whatever. I would love to try to give any sort of insight that I can to help you guys out. And again, the way this works is, dude, I'm just a dude. We are all just people. And so some of the stuff I say is I may not have the right answer for it. It might just be my opinion. And so I would love to still weigh in and help you guys out, even if it's letting you know something I've done wrong in the past that you guys can learn from. So it's been a little while. Chad, the painting's been on stalemate. We'll talk about that in a minute. Victoria, what's up, girl? Lauren's in the house. Ryan, good old Ryan. It's been a while since I have shown the intro video. And so we're going to show the intro video, and we're going to get rolling right into things. Let's start getting some questions going. I would love to jump in and help in any way that I can. And you know what, too? I got to say this. There's 9 of you watching right now. There'll be hundreds that'll watch down the road. If you don't have your calendar year booked up, and you don't have questions, I'm just going to suggest that something might be off, right? I'm giving you guys an opportunity to ask questions about this stuff, and if things aren't perfectly amazing, then I would encourage you to ask something like, look, here's the deal. Just because I'm up here like answering questions doesn't mean I don't have my own. Doesn't mean I'm not still learning and still educating and still attending workshops and still surrounding myself with people who are quite honestly much better than I am. That's the name of the game. That's life. And so I just want to encourage you guys and challenge you to that notion too. So bring in questions, man. Okay, here we go. Intro video time because I love it. All right, let me see. Volume, check. Rotation, check. Oh yeah, we're going old school. Here we go. Yes, awesomeness. Okay, so once again, we're coming live from the basement. I'm working on finalizing not the talking points for my presentation. I'm going to be going up to Canada here, Canada Photo Convention, but I'm going to be I'm just working on the blocking, on the delivery, on the execution of it, and so. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I love the interaction that I get through this. This is in a lot of ways practice for me of just public speaking, of getting over fear, all that kind of stuff. And so anyhow, you guys, I figured as questions come in, something that's been on the mind is I do a lot of rah-rah. I do a lot of kind of talking to you guys and sometimes yelling at you guys about execution, about actually doing things, all that kind of stuff, right? And I hope it's inspiring. I hope that I light a fire under you guys. That seriously is a huge a huge goal of the Six Figure Photography of SF Live. And at the same time, I also want to be able to give you guys very practical thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just want to stand up here and be this like resounding gong that just doesn't shut up and doesn't help you guys with execution. And so I figured I would help. I figured I would give you guys some thoughts here. So look, a lot of the questions that I've heard asked, and even when I've been guests on podcasts, a really popular question is the idea of, let's say that you're new to a new city, right? You've just moved to a new city, or the other way that I've heard it worded is you're arriving on a new planet that is populated with humans, and it's a brand new planet, and you don't know anything about it. Like, how do you get your first clients in the door? How do you get a business going? And this is the more practical, real question is, let's say that you're working as a banker. Let's say you're working as, like an effing salesman selling couches during the week, and you're trying to switch and go full-time with your photography. What do you do, right? That's probably the more practical question. That's probably the one that relates to you guys more. It's like, I'm working a job that doesn't make me happy, and I want to start being happy in life, and I want to start making artwork that brings in money. What do I do? And so I figured I would tell you like literally exactly what I did. And there's gonna be, I mean, honestly, I did a lot, and so there's gonna be some things I'm not gonna be able to get to. But hopefully there will be some practicality to this. So just so you guys know, when I started Style and Story Creative, I started this in Bowling Green, Ohio. Bowling Green, Ohio is a college town with about a 30,000 population. I might be off on that. I'm usually pretty bad at my numbers, but 30,000 population. And it's a college town, and so it's just got a ton of college kids, and so a lot of kids are just out of college, getting married, that kind of a thing. And that's where I built Style and Story, and then we moved our business down to Columbus, Ohio. Okay, so we moved 2 hours south down to Columbus, Ohio, and we had 0 clients that were from Columbus, Ohio when we moved. Okay, 0 clients were here, and so what did I do? Now, just to be clear, I mean, again, I didn't move state. I moved 2.5 hours or so to a new city, and so I just felt like I would let you guys know the exact steps that I took to start getting business going. And so, step one, I actually, for starters, it starts with research, okay? So do research, do the work, start testing things, okay? And so the first research that I did was, I had an office manager at the time that I was paying, I think maybe $10 an hour, $11 an hour part-time, and I set them to work. I set them to work to look up every single vendor within the wedding niche, focusing in on venues and planners, and create a list of, numerically, from the best down of vendors, of like who is the best damn wedding planner in Columbus, Ohio? What is the best venue? The most expensive venue, the most beautiful venue, the most popular venue, right? And I had them create a list. And if you don't have someone like that you can pay $10 an hour, go do the work yourself. But it starts with testing, doing research, and so we started there. And then I went down that list and I called each person on that list, and I said like, hi, my name's Ben Hartley with Style and Story Creative. Look, you don't know who I am. I just moved to the area. Like, I literally just moved to the area like yesterday. And I asked my office manager to do some research and to find the #1 wedding planner in the city. And you came up, and I just wanted to call and first off to say kudos to you. First off, just to give you credit, like I literally had someone do the research and you showed up, so you're doing something right. And so I think that's really rad. I wanted to see if we could meet up for lunch, if I could take you out to lunch and just say hi. I've got a wife and a little kid. I saw on your website that you're married and you have a little kid too. I'd love to know more about the area and to see how I can better serve your couples, right? So that's what I did. That was step one for me, okay? And I literally met with a ton of people. I met with a ton of people. And to be honest, most of them were duds. Most of them were like, they were, what's it called? Red herrings. They were dead ends. And it resulted in nothing. Well, not nothing. It resulted in me recognizing where I needed to invest my time, right? So there was an initial investment up front. And then from there, I did a ton of free shoots. Okay, so I did a ton of free shoots. I shot all the people that I felt like, man, I really like this person. I really connect with them. I think that there's a value exchange that can occur. I did free headshots. So we did free headshots. We did free venue shots for all of these people. And do you know what today? You guys, Stone's Creative, six-figure photography, like all of the success and all that stuff, we still will do free headshots for people that we love because we want to give value to them, right? Do you get that? We're still occasionally doing free work to keep things going, and so we started doing free shoots for vendors and for venues. Then we started doing more research into search terms. We wanted to know what were brides actually searching for in Columbus, Ohio, and what I mean is we were doing keyword research. So were they searching for wedding photographers, Columbus, Ohio? Were they searching for Columbus wedding photographer, singular? What were the keywords that they were actually searching for? Award-winning Columbus wedding photographer, the best Columbus wedding photographer. What are the actual brides paying attention to? And so we did research there, and then we started targeting with an organic keyword tools and long tail SEO shenanigans, whatever. On that note, by the way, I did an interview that will be going live here probably 4 weeks for you guys from specifically a wedding photography SEO expert. Okay, and it's really powerful. He's got some really amazing stuff. He knows his shenanigans, and so I'm super excited to get that episode to you guys. So we started doing our research there, and then you guys. We just hit the dirt. Like we were hustling left and right. Like I'm telling you, we were doing free shoots left and right. We were showing up to every meetup that we could attend. Like the wedding vendor meetups, the bridal show meetups, all that kind of stuff. And we were doing that. We started talking to other wedding photographers. I met up with other wedding photographers for lunch, asked them how I could help serve them. And I literally, you guys, asking people has power, right? If you're just going to sit there and hope, crossing your damn fingers that a photographer will send you a lead, that they have the date booked and they're going to send it to you, you're dreaming. You have to ask. Just ask. And so we met with photographers and we were like, hey, we just moved here and I know we're technically direct competition, but it would be really awesome to help us get kind of our foot in the ground. If you get booked on a date, would you consider to send that referral to us? We would love to do the same for you. Like, asking has power. Nothing will ever happen. Well, not nothing, but a lot of things won't happen unless you ask, you guys. And so believe in yourself enough to actually ask. And I think that's a tricky thing. I think a lot of photographers struggle with self-esteem. They struggle with actually believing in themselves enough to ask. Let me tell you guys, like you can do it. Like we're all just people. All these other photographers who are established and they're kicking ass and all that stuff, you know what? They're all just people. And they have sucky days and they have good days. And they need to ask. They need to ask sometimes for referrals. So just know that, man. Just because, and even right now, just because I'm speaking at a couple conventions or I'm delivering this message to you right now makes me no better, no more successful. It's just the fact that I've chosen to step up and do it, and I'm willing to put myself out there. And you can do that too, right? Like I'm freaking in my basement right now, sitting on an effing ping pong table talking to you guys. There's nothing glorified about this, okay? Be willing to recognize that we're all just people and just ask. So looks like there's a lot of questions that have come in. Let's see what we got, you guys. Mike says, in a dark church, how high will you let your ISO go on the 5D Mark III? It's a great question. It's a really specific one. Luckily, I do shoot with the 5D Mark III, and so I try to keep it under that 3200 mark. You can go higher. You can go up to that 4000. You can I've even pushed up to the 5, but I do try to keep it around there. So yeah, 32.4 is really where I try to stay, Mike. That being said, I'm not a person who freaks out about high ISO. I don't really worry too much about that. I would much rather have a slightly noisier image that I can do some noise reduction for in post rather than a blurry image. And so if the compromise is, do you go to 4000 ISO or do you drop your shutter down to 1/30th of a second? And I go to 4000 ISO. Again, I'd much rather have an actual usable image that I could try to fix and post. So great question, Mike. Okay, let's see here. What's up, you guys? Carrie's in the house, Mike's in the house, Nate's here. Hey, Nate, you asked me a question, and man, buddy, I forgot to get back to you. I do apologize. Nate, you asked me a question directly through text. You shot me a text, and you were asking about canvases, getting some ideas on where to get canvases from, man. You're not a professional photographer. So like a lot of the companies that deal with canvases, they're only working exclusively with professional photographers, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, Let's talk, man, because I'd love to just get you and your girl hooked up with some stuff. I think Miller's is going to do a really great job for you, and I have great connections there. And so maybe I can work with you just to get some stuff for you at cost and just hook a brother up. So shoot me another follow-up text, and I'll give you some numbers from them that we can get you some canvases from your engagement shoot or from your wedding or from whatever you want, and get those in your house. And let's just do it at cost, man. I'm not trying to make money here. Okay. Mike says, hey, Ben, what's the best way to handle the initial contact with website leads? Mike, maybe you're just setting me up for like a slam dunk here, but the best way to handle the initial contact from a website lead is to actually call them, is to pick up the phone. I think the fastest way to be forgotten is to email someone. So many of you are like, oh, this industry, it's so crowded. There's so many photographers that keep coming up, the iPhone 7, whatever, there's more and more photographers every single day, and that's true. How do you differentiate yourself from everybody else? One of the best ways to differentiate yourself from everybody else is to not just email someone when they contact you, right? And my God, turn off your damn autoresponder. That pisses me off. So don't send an autoresponding email to someone. Just actually care, and so pay attention to when you get a new inquiry, and then call them. Like actually call them and learn about them and discover what it is that they care about and why they care about those things, and ask questions. That initial phone call, there's no magic script to it. There's no set of things that if you say you'll immediately book them. Just actually give a rip and spend the majority of that conversation investigating and discovering more of who they are and what they care about, not who you are, the way that you shoot, your creative vision, your photographic style, the gear that you use, the albums you deliver. Really spend that time understanding what makes your client tick. And that will, if you want to differentiate yourself, if you want to become unique, the majority of photographers are not doing that. Nate says, where can I find pricing for Miller's canvas you guys use? Oh, hey, Nate, you did ask that. Nate, you can't. You can't, because you have to have a login information. You have to be a professional photographer, all that kind of stuff. So just connect with me, man, personally, and I'll start talking to you and get you hooked up. Millers.com is the Miller's site. You need to apply to become a vendor with your photography. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Chad. You have to apply with all of your credentials, etc. Yay, Leslie Hartley joined. Victoria, hey girl. Victoria says, I'm trying to sell albums with every package, but I find that brides always tell me, in quotes, we don't want one. How much would it be without one? Do you bring the price of the package down if they don't want it, or do you let them customize packages? Okay, here's the deal. That is a really great question, Victoria. This is a question though that, man, you are 100% correct in what's happening to you, and the reason why it's happening to you is because you're not all in, right? You're just kind of like heard that albums are kind of like the way to go, and you can make some money doing albums, and really great photographers do albums, and so you've started doing them too. And I understand that. That's how I started as well. What I mean when I say you're not all the way, I mean that you don't fully believe 100% all in, walk the walk, that having printed albums is hands down the best damn way that you can serve your clients. And when you actually believe that, when you actually walk the walk, when I say walk the walk, I'm talking about having prints in your own home, printing family albums every year, making canvases and wall art for your own house. When you actually believe that and are convicted deep down and have a passion that recognizes that print has power, and you effectively convey that to your client, they will not be asking you those questions. And when they do ask those questions and you say, I'm so sorry, but it is not possible for you to hire me to photograph your wedding and not get a physical album to tell your story for generations, when you say those words back to them, they're not going to be taken aback. They're not going to be like, what? How dare you tell me no? They're just going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense because this guy freaking loves his print. And so that's my answer. My answer is every single thing that we do from before they even contact us is about print, is about albums. When I call going back to Mike's question, when I call my brides, when I call my grooms, when I call my clients and I talk to them about what it is that we do, and I'm trying to discover what kind of style they like or what kind of imagery are they attracted to. Do you know what I don't say? I don't say, hey, you guys, I want you to tell me what kind of photographic style do you like, or tell me the way that you want your pictures to be seen, or tell me, do you like more natural imagery or more like contrasty, lit imagery? I don't say that shit. What I say is, and I say this because it has to do with the album, I say, you guys, I want you to stop for a second. I want you to picture 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and it's a rainy day, and you're sitting on your couch, and you look down at your coffee table, and there's an album sitting there, and you pick it up, and you start flipping through it, and you're 2 pages in, 3 pages in, right? And you start looking back at your wedding album. What do you see? How do you want those photographs to be remembered? How do you want your day to be relived down the road? When your kid comes in the room, what do you want your little girl to see, right? That is how I find out what the hell does my client care about. How do they want their pictures to look like? How do they want me to shoot? What kind of style are they responding to? I'm asking it within the context of storytelling through albums, all right? When you start really caring and we start really being passionate about this stuff, that people aren't, like, those questions go away, right? Those questions go away because people get it. Your passion, you guys, people see your passion and their hearts ignite. When they see your heart ignite, their hearts ignite. And people want to be part of something bigger than themselves. People want to come alongside you in that. Like, we are passion-driven people, right? And so if you actually believe it, they will too. Now, here's the deal with that. You can't fake this shit, right? You cannot, people's BS meter is like, ooh, like so high. You can't fake it. If you're faking it, shame on you. You're going to get caught and no one's going to buy shit from you. All right. Sorry. This is one of my fears, by the way, you guys. I'm about to speak at CPC. One of my fears is I'm going to like get really excited and passionate like I just got, and I'm going to start swearing at everyone. Who knows what's going to happen. All right, here we go. Thomas says, how do you make the album sale? I designed an album with Fundy and did like 70 spreads, and they had to narrow it down to 36 unless they wanted to buy extra spreads. We ended up to design one from scratch because on one computer they looked at the photos and choose. Sorry, this is a long question. Okay, and choose the photos, and on the other screen, I did the design because, let's say, family photos, there are like 3 different ones. They picked one, walking down the aisle, and they chose one, and so on. That's a real long question, Thomas. Thomas, you've been to Abundance, man. You've seen how I do everything. It's a really long question that would take an hour to go through an entire process. I don't really get all the details that you're asking because it doesn't matter. If they're seeing multiple images. I mean, at the end of the day, look, I guess to answer your question, man, at the end of the day, not every single person is going to invest like thousands of dollars in an album, right? And that's okay. That's 100% okay. Like, your job as the photographer is to provide value, to educate on why this value has importance, and then to give them the freedom to choose how much value they want to have, right? And at that point, you step back. And some people, it's totally okay. Some people won't. They won't see the value in it. Or just candidly, they won't have the money to spend, right? When my wife and I got married, we didn't have the money to spend on that. And it's a bummer, but it is what it is. And so I guess those are my thoughts, man. Ben Adams, what's up? Victoria, I've done 25 free engagement sessions this year and it kicked my butt, but I did it to build my portfolio and get my name out there. I have 2 left and I'm done. Ain't nothing wrong with free sometimes. Victoria, thanks for the hustle, girl. Like, sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes in order to book a client, you say, hey, if you decide to go with this, I would love to make sure that you get engagement pictures. I know how much you value it. I want to show up and deliver you guys an engagement session. Let me give that to you, right? Sometimes it just takes the hustle. Sometimes it takes care. And you know what? If you're out there and you don't have inquiries and you don't have shoots and you don't have a portfolio, like how dare you be like upset about a free shoot? And so, amen. 25 free engagement sessions to build your portfolio, to get yourself out there, to make some work, and to even just for the sake of practice. That's awesome, girl. Killer job. Thomas says, does calling brides always work for you? I have brides that just hung up the phone on me. And I just said, hi, I'm Thomas from Now and Forever. Photography, beep, beep, beep. The other one was like, why you want to know more stuff about us. So I answered, I really don't get to know more. You love the long questions, Thomas. Okay, so hold on. So I answered, I really want to get to know you more and connect with you guys. She replied, oh, that is not a good time to talk. I'll call you back. And then before she said, so she freaked. Maybe sometimes it's email better, maybe. Okay, cool. Thomas. For starters, there is no one thing that will work 100% of the time. Like, look, people are people. Some people just effing hate phone calls. Some people don't check their email. And so, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just still pick up the phone and make a phone call because it does work better than email. That all being said, my first thought is, look, this is not cold calling. Can we be clear about this, right? This is not cold calling, okay? This is a client contacting you saying, hey, I want to know more information, contact me, and this is literally you doing what they tell you to do. Does that make sense, you guys? This is not cold calling. And so the very first thing that you need to do, Thomas, and everyone, is to establish credibility, right? To present credentials right up front, like, hey, this is Ben Hartley. You contacted me like just 4 hours ago about wedding photography. Is that ringing a bell? You have to immediately establish that because people get cold called all the time and they try to be sold stuff all the time. And so immediately you have to establish your credentials about like, hey, I'm literally just returning your contact form. From there, look, I guess at the end of the day, if a bride has zero interest or a groom or a couple has zero interest in connecting and talking to you and they want to hang up the phone and they don't see the value and importance in it, like, dude, filtering, like that's a client that you don't want to shoot. That is a client that you don't want to have to deal with. I'm just being honest, man. At least for me, that's like if someone's gonna hang up on me, f that noise. I'm out. Thanks for just going ahead and like expediting the process. So I guess that's my thought. But establish the fact that you're literally just reaching back out to them. The other thing that I do, by the way, is sometimes it's helpful to give someone a text and shoot them a text beforehand and say, hey, I just got your contact form, and I saw that 3 p.m. is a great time to call. I'll shoot you a call right around 3:15. Hope that works for you. And obviously, again, establish credibility. Hey, this has Ben Hartley. You just shot us a contact form. I'll shoot you a call at this time. That way, when you call, again, all the bells are going off in their head. Okay, cool. Hey, Kat says amen. Kat, what'd you say amen to, girl? I didn't even get a chance to see what you said amen to. Oh, I'm going to have to go back and watch this and see when that comment came in. Amen. Chad's a potty mouth. Hey, leave me alone. Actually, I'm pretty sure, Chad, you and I, you had an speakerphone in your car and all your kids were in the car and I said some terrible things. I apologize about that. Krista, hi. Hi, Krista. Krista says, hi. So I am reshooting at a venue with terrible reception lighting. Last time my camera had little to no focusing capabilities with my on-camera flash towards the end of the night. Should I set up speed lights this time, or is there a setting I need to tweak on my camera? So 100% speed lights, and there could be a setting to use in your camera, or there could be a lens to use because Krista, different lenses have different IQs. When I say IQ, so some lenses will focus better in the dark versus others, right? I've got a Tokina 16 to 24 that just like focuses like perfectly in the dark on the dance floor, whereas you go out with like, let's say 85 1.4, 1.2 if you're a Canon person, and you're going to be searching and searching and searching. And so it's also dependent upon what you're shooting with. When you start using off-camera lighting, so a couple tricks. One is I've got a whole blog post on this. You should go take a look at. There's actually a download there, a free download. There's no cost to it. A free download that shows our reception lighting setup that we use. I actually need to go up there and update our lighting thing because we've changed a lot of the ways that we shoot. But anyhow. So when you have an off-camera light, I also do keep a flash on my camera that's triggering that light because the on-camera flash will have an IR little light that will go out and will actually help with a focus assist. It'll actually hit your subject and help with a focus assist to give you something to see in the dark. So that would be another thought. But my guess, honestly, is it's going to have a lot to do with your lens. I'm also curious what you're shooting on. I don't know. Obviously, all the cameras have different I was shooting with a 12 to 24 millimeter wide open or wide angle. I'm not sure what you're shooting on either. So yeah, some light is super helpful. And then also, what are you shooting? Can I ask? At 12 to 24, Krista, what are you shooting with a 12 to 24? Because if you're doing dance stuff, like if you're in the middle of the dance floor just like raging with everyone, like I just go full autofocus. I don't even have my eye up to it. I'm just like up here, just like firing, going mad, just like capture whatever. Honestly, if you're at a 12 to 24 millimeter, shoot that thing at like, 5.6, and like pretty much everything's gonna be in focus anyhow. With that lens as it is, relative focus. Nikon, I don't know Nikon D610. I don't really know, but it sounds old. It might not be, but it sounds kind of old. Okay, cool. Balls to the wall tomorrow. That's right, Mike. Thomas says, how would you respond to that question if you would get asked, did you shoot an East Indian wedding and you didn't? If someone asked me, have I shot an East Indian wedding and I have not shot an East Indian wedding, do you know what I would tell them? I would say, I haven't shot an East Indian wedding. Like, we're not like, you can't like start lying to people. Like this is, you get caught. You guys, you can't like lie about this shenanigans. If you haven't shot an East Indian wedding, don't tell someone that you have. And so what I would say is this. I'd say, look, I haven't shot an East Indian wedding, but I've shot a South Asian wedding. I've shot a Vietnamese wedding, a Persian wedding, a Greek, Jewish, Western wedding. I've shot a gay wedding. I've shot. I mean, I would just go down the list of all the other things that you've shot and just say that. Like my commitment to you is like that I will be the best of the best, that I will work harder than any other photographer. And I might not have shot an East Indian wedding, but I promise you I'm going to do whatever it takes to know what I need to know. So actually, to answer this specifically, I hadn't shot an Indian wedding. It was a South Indian wedding, and the couple knew that, you guys. They knew I had not, but I told them, look, I've shot a Persian wedding, I've shot a Muslim wedding, and then at the time it was just, the normal Western weddings. And so I told them that I was committed to know every single thing that I needed to know about that South Indian wedding. And so part of that was I literally went to, they were like, well, my cousin's going to get married. And I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to be a South Indian wedding? They're like, yeah. I was like, would I be able to just like go and take a look during the ceremony? Would that be okay? And they were like, yeah, that'd be amazing. You should come with us. I literally attended a South Indian wedding with them just to show them that I was willing to do the hustle, and I was passionate enough and I cared enough to make sure that I knew every single thing. I started doing research into the different ceremonies and all that stuff. So when we would get on the phone, I would literally talk about the Bharat, I'd talk about the Sangeet, talk about the Marinda and all those things. And just to show them that I knew. And I showed up and I delivered. It was probably one of the best damn weddings that I've ever photographed. But you can't, you just got to own it. You've got to deliver authority in some other way, right? And right now you don't have the authority to say that you've done that. And so what do you have the authority to say? And try to leverage that. And again, try to leverage your passion, man. People respond to passion. Okay, cool. Small venue, I was having problems with length. I guess, Krista, I'm not exactly sure. Small venue, so maybe, are you just saying that you're using it like throughout the venue because it was such a small kind of tight space? Yeah. I guess I would go one-shot mode. Krista, to go back to answering your question about focusing, I would go one-shot mode. I would do an off-camera light. I would have an on-camera light with a focus assist on. I would be shooting... I probably would still be at 2.8 depending on what you're shooting, and then just going from there. That should be enough with today's technology. So yeah, okay. Thomas said, no, not asking to lie, but to convince them to give me a chance. Thomas, you have to leverage your authority in other ways. You have to leverage your authority, leverage your passion, and to prove to them that if they hire you, you're not going to screw up this opportunity. And then to understand and that they very well may not hire you, and that's okay. This is what it is, man. Okay, you guys, I got to go work on my CPC presentation. I got to get a lot done. I gotta start hustling on this. So thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for supporting what we do. If you haven't had that opportunity yet, we have a podcast. So it's the Six Figure Photography Podcast. It's on iTunes. And that comes out weekly for you guys. I interview all kinds of really awesome people. And so I would love to see a review from you. I just had a little contest. But if you want some time and you want to give me a thank you, one of the best thank yous you can do is to leave a comment here or to leave me a review on iTunes. That'd be really cool. Other than that, follow me on Instagram, Hartley. On Instagram, I'm always hopping on there trying to get stories for you guys, things like that. So thanks, everyone. We will talk soon. Bye.